Okay, today we have exercise 1.3 questions 1D and 2B, solving simultaneous linear inequalities. Right, now we have two linear inequalities there, so we're trying to solve them simultaneously. So basically what we're trying to do is to find an inequality that will satisfy both this inequality and this inequality. Before we can find that inequality, what we have to do is to solve both of the inequalities first. So now I shall solve the one on the left hand side. You will get 5x is lesser than 5. Dividing both sides by 5, x is less than 1. Similarly, we solve the one on the right. 3x is greater than or equals to negative 4. Dividing both sides by 3, x is greater than or equals to negative 1 and 1/3. So now we actually have two inequalities there. We have to represent both of them on a number line. So here is where I will draw a number line. Negative 1 and 1/3 goes on the left here, 1 goes on the right. X is lesser than 1. So I draw a white dot. X is lesser than 1, like this. Okay, so this inequality, this line here represents x is lesser than 1. Now to represent x is greater than or equals to negative 1 and 1/3, I draw it here like this. The second one. So if I want to find an inequality that will satisfy both of them, what I do is I find an overlapping region. The overlapping region basically will show where both of these inequalities will actually overlap. So I shall use a red pen now. Okay, you can use a pencil if you want. For me, I use a red pen to make it clearer. The region that they both overlap, okay, will be down here, like this. So if I transfer what is overlapping, what I get is an inequality that looks like this. Now we have to translate this back into an inequality. How do I do that? Notice that for this guy here, I say x is greater than or equals to negative 1 and 1/3. Right, you see x is greater than or equals to negative 1 and 1/3 and goes all the way here to 1, and it is also less than 1, and that is question 1D. Okay, I shall shift the paper now and we do question 2B. Question 2B will work like this. I shall copy the question first, and for you, you can also look at your textbook and copy the questions if you wish. Alright, similarly to what we did above, I shall solve the one on the left first. So first I expand, I open up the brackets. I get 3 over 2 is lesser than x plus 5. I shall collect all my x terms on the left hand side. So I get here is negative 1/4 x is lesser than 5 minus 3 over 2 is 3.5. Now in order for me to get x, okay, I can multiply both sides by negative 4. Remember, when you multiply both sides of an inequality by a negative number, what happens is that the direction of the inequality sign must change. So I will get x is greater than negative 14. I will solve the one on the right hand side as well. If you want to pause the video to try to solve it yourself and then see if it matches up to mine, that might be good as well. So I get plus 2/3 here. Once again, collecting all my x terms on the left hand side, I get negative x is greater than 4 and 2/3. And finally, notice that here it is negative x. So if I multiply both sides by negative 1, again negative number, my direction of my inequality sign must change. So I get x is lesser than negative 4 and 2/3. Once again, we are at this point whereby we have to draw these two inequalities on a number line so that we can actually find another inequality that will satisfy both of them. So what I do now is I will draw number line, -4 and 2/3, -14, -14, -4 and 2/3. Okay, -4 and 2/3. X is greater than -14. So for this one, x is greater than -14. I draw a number line and we have x. X is lesser than -4 and 2/3. Draw. Okay, now we find the overlapping region where both of them, okay, are satisfied, and we can see that the overlapping region is here where x is greater than -14 and lesser than -4 and 2/3. Right, so this is the overlapping region. Okay, the white dot be down, the white dot. So in the end, I must translate this final answer back into an inequality, and what we have is x is greater than -14 and is lesser than -4 and 2/3. And I'm done with question 1D and 2B.